Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to play Winter Soldier in Marvel Rivals, who is a very interesting character because all of his abilities will refresh his guns of ammo, allowing you to deal a ton of damage. He's great at taking out enemies. You've probably heard the armed and dangerous again, because his ultimate is actually crazy, because when you take out someone with his ultimate, you can do it again and again and again. And he can also headshot. His gun actually fires a projectile that will explode, taking out enemies. And he's just overall a very powerful duelist in Marvel Rivals. So in this Ultimate Guide, I'll be breaking down the best ways to take advantage of his skill set. Now, he's got three different abilities here. So he's got his right click, which is going to pull enemies in. This has a short range. It only has 20 meters of range. So it has 10 meters of range if you were to just fire it off just at the start here, much like his Trooper's Fist, which also has about a 10-meter radius. Now, you want to be weaving these together because it also provides him with some overhealth. So the max range here, about 20 meters with this, if you're able to grab someone. This is nice because you can start by firing off and then follow it up with that attack, which will refresh your gun, and then you can follow it up with this attack, which will knock them up, making it a little bit easier to get your shots in. Now, there is something a little bit different about his gun. You actually have to aim a little bit higher since it is a projectile to be able to get headshots. If you're aiming like this, you will sometimes just get a body shot off instead. So due to the projectile nature of his gun, you do have to aim a little bit differently than someone else that's like a hit scan like Black Widow. So aiming upwards and to the right. Now his gun bullets attack or move at 180 meters per second. So they are pretty quick, but still do take time to travel. And you'll notice this the further away you are. After you click your shot, it's going to take a second to travel, meaning that people can actually dodge this. So we actually want to play at a bit of a mid-range. Obviously, staying near your tanks, it's going to be the best thing to do just to keep them alive if there's anyone that's coming in, diving them like other tanks. But you can also use this to be able to get your shots in and use your grapple attack to pull healers towards your team. You can also got this attack here, the Tainted Voltage, which will actually pierce through enemies and it slows them down. It deals 55 damage and will slow them down by 35%. So using that, you can actually start off by the best way to do this is fire off your shots, get your ammo gun, fire off that, shoot a couple more rounds, and then once the target has that slow, you're gonna pull them in, shoot at them again, and then use that attack. That's kind of the combo for Winter Soldier. He does have a melee attack, which is not terrible, but it's almost better to reload your gun because you see the damage it does here. This isn't very good because instead of doing like 10 melees, you can just go boom, boom, and get 2 headshots off, clear them out. Now, Winter Soldier is heavily dependent on making sure that you're able to keep his gun reloaded and full of ammo at all times because he only has 3 shots. So that's why you want to be using your abilities to the best of your capabilities, because this will refresh his gun and keep the enemy kind of rattled. So the hardest one to land is actually the grapple here. So that's why it's best to start with the slow, because sometimes it is a little bit more challenging to grapple the healers. Another cool thing is you can actually shoot targets out of the sky with your Tainted Voltage there. So if you see any Iron Man, Storms, or even Star-Lord that's flying around, hit them with that and it'll ground them, allowing your team to just go in and jump them. So he can be great for taking them out. But really the best thing about Winter Soldier is using his ability, the ultimate with this Kraken arm here, which will apply a 20% debuff to the target's health and hit for quite a bit of health as well here. So you can just continually keep attacking with that. His ultimate does deal 100 damage, so you can use that strategically. If you know someone's really low on health, you can just follow it up with your ultimate and then keep blasting, because that also does refresh your gun. Now, one of the best ways to play with Winter Soldier is actually to have the team up with Rocket, because whenever you have the Rocket team up, his damage goes through the roof because it gives him a 25% buff to his fire rate, and it makes it so that his gun is unlimited, so you can just continually keep firing. Rocket is the one in charge, so he has to drop this down, but you can see you fire really quickly with this, so it's almost just worth keeping your trigger held down anytime that you have this buff active, because it's faster than just individually shooting. But yeah, you saw it right there, how much faster it is, and it just absolutely devastates enemies. So this is fun because, yes, the gun is a projectile gun and not a hit scan, but being able to fire this fast with an exploding round, that's the other thing about his attacks, is it actually, whenever it hits a target, it'll actually do a little explosion 5 meters behind the target. So anytime you deal damage, you can actually damage others as well. So that makes this even better. but I will show off how to use Winter Soldier in some gameplay here. So positioning for Winter Soldier, typically you want to be near your healers and tanks, so sticking with them is nice, but also you can rush in a little bit as you're kind of a brawler. You're meant to get in there and mid-range attack from 10 to 20 meters, somewhere around there, so you can pull enemies in with your reaching attack, and you can also do that punching attack from 10 meters. So that's typically the range that you want to play Winter Soldier at, but anywhere near your tank usually is optimal. You can see here the infinite ammo works very well, so the team up with Rocket, if you ever see a Rocket on your team and you wanted to play Winter Soldier, that is the perfect time to do it because it just makes him so much stronger. So when you're using your ultimate, it's typically best used against anyone that's a little bit squishier because it only does about 100 damage. But anytime you see a tank like this by themselves and there's no healing around, that's also not a bad time because then you'll be able to refresh it just like that. So then I went ahead and took out Storm here and then continued to the Carnage. But I got stuck in a wall there. That actually happens a few times. So just be mindful anytime that there's walls or anything vertical that it can potentially block your ultimate and make it so that you can't even attack with it. So that's something to keep in mind. But here's nice. Hulk is pretty easy of a target to hit, which is great. So you can just continually burst him down. Going with those uppercut attacks is also quite nice because that can launch them up and it kind of lines up your next attacks. So that works very well. Now Rocket's ultimate, in addition to the unlimited ammo, is pretty crazy. If you're able to get both of those at the same time, Winter Soldier and the Punisher both turn into literal just annihilators. They just take down everyone. So you can also get assists as Winter Soldier because if you slow someone down, that'll count as an assist. So that can be a nice way to also get some extra stats there. Here's a nice triple kill. We were getting pushed pretty hard here, but yeah, with the infinite ammo, we're able to clear things out really easily. And there was a quick and easy triple. So here's another triple using the ultimate because it just does so much damage and allows you to refresh your bullets too. So there was a nice little combo. And you can also pause in the air whenever you're looking for a target, so just launching it up can sometimes be nice if you're running out of its cooldown. But that was a quick and easy triple. So yeah, Winter Soldier is very powerful, especially with team-ups. That's how you make the most out of his kit whenever you get that increased amount of attacks and or increased attack speed and infinite ammo. As you can see here, this is very valuable for just clearing the way because of the splash damage. So you can actually get some pretty nice knockouts because of the cone damage that it does behind. Now his attack does 75 damage, but the cone does 65 damage behind it, so it's still a very good amount of damage if you're able to hit a target with it because of the splash that goes behind it in a 5-meter cone. So super useful. But also your slow is nice because it'll pierce through enemies too. This is perfect. Anytime you see an Adam Warlock doing his ultimate, try to go after it. But unfortunately I got stuck against the wall there again, so that was unfortunate. But infinite ammo is just the way to make Winter Soldier great. So you can see here, I'm kind of sticking around where the tanks are, and Rocket was just dropping these ammo packs. We had a Punisher on the team for this game, and that made it even better. And yeah, it's just all about getting into the right line of sight to be able to take out the enemy because of the exploding attacks, and the fact that a projectile not hit scan also makes things a little bit more challenging to hit. But there was a nice show off of the attack there that goes through multiple targets and can slow them all down, allowing you to land your next shots even easier. So that was a very poor ultimate because Rocket used that to dash away. So you just got to be mindful of who you're using that against because whenever they hear armed and dangerous, they're going to start moving. So that can make it hard to land your ultimate. But you can see there, Doctor Strange's portal near the top was trying to confuse us, but we were able to just drop him out. Unfortunately, I got taken out there. But that is how to play Winter Soldier in Marvel Rivals. Let me know if this was useful and hit the subscribe button below.